Could you survive one day in ancient Britain? Before you answer, imagine this. You wake up in Britain 5,000 years ago. No electricity, no supermarkets, no medicine, no police, no central heating, no clean running water. And by sunset, one mistake could kill you. Most people assume ancient life was simple. Hard, maybe, but simple. It wasn't. In fact, surviving a single day in ancient Britain would be far more difficult than most people realize. The moment you open your eyes, your first problem isn't food, it's the cold. Even during warmer periods, nights were brutally uncomfortable. Houses trapped smoke, dampness seeped through walls, and every morning began with the challenge of keeping a fire alive. Without it, cooking became impossible, water couldn't be purified, and hypothermia was a real threat. But warmth is only the beginning, because you're thirsty, and that creates another problem. You can't just turn on a tap. Every drop of water must be collected from streams, rivers, springs, or rainwater stores. Some sources look clean, many aren't. Bacteria, parasites, and animal waste are everywhere. Would you know which water is safe? Most ancient Britons learned through experience. You haven't. And now you're gambling with your stomach before breakfast. Speaking of breakfast, what exactly are you eating? Forget cereal, forget toast, forget coffee. Depending on when in ancient Britain you arrive, your morning meal could be little more than coarse barley porridge, wild plants, nuts, or whatever food survived the previous winter. No refrigerators, no freezers, no imports. Every calorie matters. Archaeologists studying ancient settlements have found evidence that many communities lived close to the edge of food security. A poor harvest wasn't inconvenient, it was catastrophic. And then there's the work. Modern jobs can be stressful. Ancient jobs were exhausting. Everything requires physical effort. Need water? Carry it. Need food? Grow it, gather it, or hunt it. Need shelter? Build it. Need clothes? Make them. Need fuel? Collect it. The average person probably spent most of their waking hours simply maintaining life. There were no weekends, no annual leave, no retirement, just survival. But perhaps the biggest shock wouldn't be the work, it would be the injuries. Imagine cutting your hand while preparing food. Today you'd wash it, disinfect it, and cover it with a plaster. Ancient Britain offered none of that. A small cut could become infected. An infected wound could become life-threatening. Something as minor as a broken tooth could eventually kill you. Archaeological remains show signs of severe dental disease, untreated fractures, infections, and chronic pain. People lived with conditions that would send most of us straight to hospital. And hospitals didn't exist. Yet somehow, despite all this, ancient Britons weren't constantly miserable. In fact, evidence suggests many communities were deeply social. People lived together, worked together, ate together, shared stories together. Without television, phones, or social media, human interaction wasn't optional. It was the center of life. Around fires, families passed on knowledge that couldn't be found in books, because books didn't exist for most people. Everything depended on memory, every skill, every warning, every lesson. And when night arrived, the world changed completely. Modern darkness is rarely truly dark. Ancient darkness was no streetlights, no glowing windows, no headlights in the distance, just blackness. The kind of darkness most people today have never experienced. And hidden within that darkness were wolves, wild boar, criminals, rival tribes, and countless things your imagination could invent. Every sound mattered, every crack of a branch, every distant howl, every movement beyond the firelight. Your ancestors evolved in that darkness, and your brain still carries some of those fears today. But here's the strangest part. If you somehow survived that first day, your biggest challenge might not be physical at all. It might be psychological. Because you'd quickly realize how dependent you are on modern society. Nearly everything you use daily is supported by millions of people you've never met. Electricity, medicine, transport, food supply chains, clean water, the internet. Ancient Britons had none of that. They survived because they knew exactly how their world worked. You don't. And that's why surviving one day in ancient Britain would be far harder than most people imagine. Not because ancient people were superhuman, but because they possessed knowledge we've forgotten. Knowledge that once meant the difference between seeing another sunrise or becoming part of history yourself.